Hey everyone, welcome back to my workbench. It's been a while. Christmas, so Merry Christmas everyone. It's still Christmas for another hour and 10 minutes or so. So I'm working on a bunch of different things right now, and one of them is building up an IntelliVision controller. Oh, it uses it's gonna have a separate buttons for the fire buttons. But I wanted to see, I wanted to try out myself that you can use the second controller port for the fire buttons for games like Tron and what's the other one? Night Stalker. And there's a problem is with the logic built into the IntelliVision, the original IntelliVision at least, is you can't move and fire using the keypad at the same time. I kind of wanted to show it's really actually kind of fascinating the logic they used for how they get um, 16 directions off of only 5 bits of data. So it's only 5 lines. And so if you look, I got the original controller on the left, and you can see the up button is your finger over here. It's your second least significant, first, second least significant digit. And you can see here, same thing here. I'm on my controller is plugged into the right controller port. And you can see, all right, so the bit that controls the weird little off directions is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth significant digit. So according to logic, you have, that's how you get that weird first position. So what happens is the up contact on the original pad is making contact, but when you move to the northeast or anything that's like a little bit off, is that second deck actually makes contact. And that's what I had to do with mine. But mine's actually, even though I'm pushing up, because it pivots, it's actually pushing the down point. So again, here's your northeast. Then you can see, actually it's kind of hard to hold northeast on this one. All right, so northeast on, see the original controller, my controller, you have the second, third, and fifth significant bits are held high. So this is where the magic happens. When you come off to the east-northeast, you see that fifth least significant digit comes off, and the same thing happens with mine. So how it works is there's both of these micro switches here, because it pivots, both of these micro switches here. So you can see how that second deck actually fell off. That's the second deck I have. You can see the fifth least significant digit. That's what actually uh, gives it those extra positions. And then you get, of course, you have your standard east, southeast, same thing. So in this case, the rightmost and that second deck, in my case, second deck, but on the original controller, I don't have one open up right now, but it was actually kind of interesting how they did it. There's actually 2 separate layers of material they had, and that'll kind of work. If you open one up, what you'll actually see, if I can find a pen, there's actually 2, wow, that doesn't work. There's actually 2 carbon layers, conductive layers. So you have an overlay layer here, and then you have another layer that's on top of it, and you actually see this bunch of cross hatching, but at this little like 12-degree, this, it's not at a 45 is here, so it's at 22.5 degrees. There's a section where that's literally that second deck or that fifth digit. You'll see on both controls 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you come in here, you'll see that digit's still on. When you come off of that, what happens is that fifth significant digit and the second deck actually comes off. And the same thing happened on the original controller. the actuator that pressed the two electrical layers together breaks contact. So you get that what would traditionally be a diagonal isn't. It's actually counted as the one just before the next. So again, you can see on the original controller and my controller, same thing. You come down to the next, there, same thing. You can see that fifth digit comes in. And then when all three, the least significant, like on down, so least significant, first least significant, and then the second deck is on. But then you come to the next spot, same thing happens. You see how that fifth digit drops off? That's how it actually gets. So 2 to the 5th is 16. So that's how you get 16 directions off of 5 bits. So this is the experiment I wanted to do. And you can see the same thing here. Oh, that's a thumb killer. Woo! Dougie. Alright, so I wanted to go into like Night Stalker or Tron and try something out. Is I might add a second joystick cord. I just got an order for, I have 2 orders for those right now actually. Cool. On a Night Stalker. First I gotta get the gun. The laser gun. Come on. Should probably load up Tron, but let's see. So oh, so you can. Okay. And it lets you keep moving too. Okay, so I'm going to do is end up putting a second I'm going to end up putting a second cord on here then, so you can it'll be just used for the special fire buttons down here. Cool, very cool. Because that is the case. That way you can fire and move at the same time. Oh, I must be hitting the wrong button. I was hitting 0 instead of 8. That's why you really need a dedicated. Okay, you can still walk in and fire. I like that. So I'm going to add a second cord to this so I can just plug in the second cord. Let's try that on Tron too. I'm curious now. Alrighty. Let's see if that's the case with Tron, because if it is, that's one of the things I don't really love on the fact that you can't fire and move at the same time, which is a little strange. Okay, so I can do this. Definitely put a second port on there. Okay. Second port. Alright. That's actually going to be pretty simple electrically. Probably need a couple diodes, but not a huge deal. Okay, it's a lot easier being able to move and shoot at the same time. So, okay, so that answers my questions. We're going to do a second port on there. I have no idea why this is a 16 direction game. Oh, so you can move with both sticks. Oh, that's neat. Okay. Okay, so you can do... That's interesting how they did the logic. Okay, so it lets you do... Oh, that is neat. I didn't know that. So the version I'm making here, I'm going to add a second cord for this. Whoa. These specialized buttons here, so you can plug in into the main and then use this for your for special fire buttons. That way you can move and fire at the same time. Okay, that's cool. I learned something new. I heard about it. I just wanted to test it out first. I haven't put the new deck on here. Cut that off in a minute. And also, I have a couple of new projects coming around. I've been very hesitant to do this because what's this name? Retro Game Boys as a digital stick for the 5200, and I really don't want to take any business away from him. But I had a couple requests for having this is going to be a digital only stick. This is going to be my replacement for my Jaguar conversion, because I just can't get Jaguar sticks anymore. So it's going to be a nice little arcade stick, same buttons, same keypad. I used my Cricut to cut in a nice little Cyber Freak on there, so that turned out nice. And then finally, this is a wild one. Oh, this one's going to be... Oh, where did this go? This is going to be... This is Dee Dee. Dee Dee is a digital stick. So games like Robotron, you have two digital sticks only, and down here are going to be the two pots, your X and your Y. So if you need to adjust, or if you want to try, if you're crazy and want to do games by hand, because there are a couple of 5200 games you really cannot play properly with a digital stick. So DD's next. This is going to be digital. The buttons up here are going to be the same. Of course, these are going to be the same. Overlay are going to be the same. And but yeah, it's going to have two digital sticks with external analog pots. So yeah. Oh yeah. Now I know. I am definitely going to be adding a second output cable. So the left one I'm going to have for the left, and then right for the right, and that way you can have you can move and fire at the same time, and going to have dedicated buttons down here, so you don't have to instead of do this. Isn't very tactile at all, so I understand why a couple of people now want the I'm calling it the ultimate with the extra. If I had more room, I'd put the center block button for Tron, but I just don't have enough room on here, because I can move this stuff slightly more, maybe, but it's getting really tight in terms of layout. I'd have to use really small buttons instead, and I don't really like the aesthetic of that. I want something more of a, because these are 30s, the ones I'm over there, those are 24 millimeter diameter, so I don't want to go too much smaller than that. It'd be a little bit, just doesn't rub me right. All right, so I'm gonna get this out of the way for now, and then we're going to go and start building up that. I'm just going to leave you plugged in. Get you out of the way. Let's see if I take that second deck out. So yeah, these will be, I'll have a dedicated cord coming off of here. It'll be just for this. So that'll be interesting. Do I need to do diodes or not? Maybe. I'll try with and without. Yeah, it's already pretty tight in here. But so the next one I'm gonna move this over very slightly so I have a little more room to work with, but that's about it. I've got this guy, which is in the traditional colors, and I have one that's super video arcade style. It's going to have black buttons and black joystick knob, so that would be kind of cool looking. That one's it's a lot of picking out bits of my logo is the hardest part. It's the Cyber Freak logo, because I used like a digital font on there, like a 9-segment display. There's all these little tiny pieces you got to pull out. Actually, I don't want this joystick. I want the different joystick. Okay. Yeah, this is the wrong style. I want the one that has the all joined together. I suppose I can use this one since it's here. Let's take a look. Make sure. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll just reuse this one. I'll leave it in there. It's not a big deal to do both. It's a little extra wiring, but nothing crazy. All right, so I know I need to trim these down. I wish there was a little more real estate on here for me to screw things down. I'm not a huge fan of gluing things, but I don't have anywhere really to screw it down. As even if you look here, how the alignment goes, there are like mounting screws here, but they're hidden underneath the. I can't really use them for anything. Now I'm just talking to myself. Where is my nice sharp cutter? I have been looking at. I'm not going to buy one. I'm not that into. Wish I had more time to play games, but the what is it? Where's my big cutter? The what's that new? The Sprint, the IntelliVision Sprint. Someone took the cover off of the joystick, and I was a little joypad, and I was a little disappointed to see that they don't have 16 directions by the look of it. It looks like it's just 8, and they kind of cheated. They only have 8 contact points. So the only way you can have it is it's just going to have 8 directions. So that's a little disappointing. But they are wireless and stuff, so that's cool. Yeah, that's gotta have to trim these down quite a bit. Watch your eyes. Let me pause this a second. We got back. I need to print more of these. Make a note for myself. And I think I'm running really low. Really? Where did you bounce off to? Okay, let me make a note for myself first. Yeah, so on the new Sprint, they just have a switch, 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 switch. So you have 8 switches, so you only have 8 possible directions. I'm a little disappointed in it, but I'm sure they modified the game so you can kind of have a little bit of drag, basically. Where the heck did that piece run off to? I need to print more. Second deck. I'm actually running low on screws. I need to get some more washers too. Hopefully, I'll have to order them. It's gonna take a Christmas. Everything's kind of a little slow right now. All right, where did you run off to? Really? A void bell of existence. All right, so a couple things I discovered. Oh, when I was developing the 2.0 version of the IntelliVision was the diameter of this hole is actually pretty crucial, because if it's not big enough, what happens is this one of these side micro switches doesn't let off late enough. That makes sense. Yeah, you have to give it quite a bit of time before the off direction lets up. And the other thing I had to be careful of is this. If you can see, I actually have to trim these alignment down just a little bit. What happens is it'll push the whole deck up a little bit, and you'll get like some weird stuff going on. The bottom switches will pop up a little bit, and you won't get good. The off directions are going to act really funky. So, yeah, weird little things you find when you're developing things. So, I end up cutting these off. This is my good really sharp little cutters here. I'm gonna grab something. The rest of the body installed, I can just pull these off. Steal this deck off. So if you don't get it really nice and flush, it's just small misalignment issues are cause some surprisingly. It's that last direction, because hitting like the first switch is fine, and then the position 1, 2, 3, but that 4 before you go to 5, what happens is that one micro switch doesn't want to engage in time. Let's drop you this way. Oh, you know what? Take it back. The edge is hidden, so let's put those back. There's a reason I did that, because I don't usually use the discretes for IntelliVision. It just didn't have enough room. The one I move over very slightly. You're not really going to see it much, but it'll be there. All right, so the other thing I had to be really mindful of is if these aren't trimmed here, that second deck will not hold down the first deck properly. What happens is you get some gap. Weird subtle things. A little gap will start forming here. And again, you'll lose that off direction a little bit. This is where I do not like using hot glue, but I'm stuck using hot glue. I have a nice high temp gun. I bought a new high temp hot glue gun, so that'll work. What I kind of do is I fill these up like little welds, and it keeps it from cupping up. And then I also come along and hit in here and make sure. You really want to make sure this. Ooh, happened. You want to make sure that deck doesn't get cockeyed at all, because you'll get some really funky stuff going on. All these little weird things you find. Let's see. You've had enough now yet. Yeah, it was a good Christmas. Got some good gifts. Families all over the country right now. My sister moved to New Zealand, which I can't believe. It's just I didn't expect that at all. But yeah, she's was in Minnesota, and really doesn't like the politics in the country. I don't blame her. And she put her money in her mouth as moving to New Zealand with her husband. Good for her. Can't say I'm in love with it either. As my son said, I'm more of a stay and fight kind of guy than anything else. Oh, I should have been off here. Yeah, so we got new sticks coming out. Come on, baby, you can do it. Switch it to plugged in mode. Not my favorite thing. I don't like using hot glue, but sometimes you're kind of stuck. The other thing I could do is that E6000, but I'd have to do a bunch of clamping because you need 24 hours for it to cure entirely. So that's a pain. Let's hope this whole tariff thing. I hope the Supreme Court finally knocks those damn tariffs down. It's just awful. I mean, for everyone involved. Like, I feel super bad for the farmers, and for myself. I've had to buy so much safety stock because I don't know when the prices are going to change on anything. Trying to find more domestic sources. It is very difficult finding a lot of domestic manufacture in the United States. My day job has got the same problem. It's just like, it's so hard to find. You can find them, but like the lead times are insane for All right, so can't find my big cutter. So um, I hope everyone learned a bit on how these 16-bit controllers work, how you get uh, 16 directions off of 5 bits. It's interesting how they originally accomplished it. So, and me having to copy how they did it, and a little disappointed in that the new controller. I wish that was a 16. I would love to be able to copy that one, but that's not in the cards. Looks like it's just 8 directions. Everyone have a great Christmas, and I'm getting tired. It's already 11:24, and everyone have a great holiday.